Welcome to DIY and Reviews with Bill. If you love hands-on projects, honest product reviews, and saving money, you're in the right place. From DIY builds to testing tools and gadgets, I will break it all down so you know what works and what's worth it. Subscribe and join me as I take on multiple projects, put different products to the test, and try to help you get the best bang for your buck. So, without further ado, let's get right to it. Alright, so same day video that I am doing for I replaced the heater hose connectors. After starting it up and kind of listening to the engine and everything, it sounds like I might have a bad tension or pulley. I used a stethoscope. It's a great diagnostic tool. If you don't have one, I highly recommend getting one. And I will put a link for it in the description, but I have the Lyle brand. And you basically just use it to touch it against the parts and listen for any abnormal or loud noises. And I used it because I thought it was a really noisy valve train, and it was going to be concerning because, you know, this thing's pretty low miles. It's only 163,000 original miles. And I was worried that the valve train in one of the heads was going bad. And come to find out, I put it on the back of the tensioner pulley while it was running. Be very careful when doing that. You don't want to get it caught in the belt, so that's why I went on the back side and put it on the body of the tensioner. So right here, that's where I put it on that part right there, and it was making a really loud noise, like it was kind of hurting my ears with that stethoscope. So I'm pretty sure that's the culprit. And since I'm going to be replacing the tensioner, I also will probably go ahead and get a new belt and an idler pulley. Recommended that you typically replace all three of those at the same time because they tend to pretty much fail in close proximity or close timing with one another. So we're going to go ahead and get right to that today. What we're going to do is we're going to remove this intake tube so we can have access to be able to put our belt tension tool on here to release the tension on the tensioner and take off the belt and remove the two pulleys. All right. Loosen up our clamps here. On these intakes, your upper radiator hose has a little point here that pops into that hole. Mine was already out, but make sure you pull that out of there. Try to slide this off. And actually, we may be able to get away with leaving it connected to here. Now would be the time to clean your throttle body if you have carbon buildup. So I have a catch can, and what this does is it helps catch excess oil. I know there's an updated valve cover you can put in, but the much easier, quicker method, and I believe cheaper as well, is to throw a catch can on, because you have, you know, the hose that comes from the PCV valve on the back corner of the valve cover comes in and then comes back out into the top of the intake there, and it just helps to catch that excess oil in there so it does not go into your intake. I just realized I'm retarded, and that does not lead to the throttle body. Where you would get the carbon buildup from on your throttle body is EGR. This one did not come with EGR from the factory. That's exhaust gas recirculating valve. So over here there's a little solenoid, and what it does is it recirculates the exhaust gases, like the name suggests, right back into the intake tube, going into your throttle body. And a lot of times you'll see black carbon buildup right here, and that can cause your throttle body to stick. So if you have that, take the opportunity, spray some carb cleaner in there. Do not push on this by hand, these drive-by wires. If you do that, you're going to mess up your throttle position, and it's going to throw everything out of whack. You got to do a throttle relearn, so do not touch that. Just spray it, and if you need to open it up, use a stick or something, or wait, push it on the pedal with the key on. It'll open that flapper, and you can spray it out that way, but do not press on that by hand. You're asking for a headache if you do. I believe it is a 15 millimeter. We're going to verify that. It is. Make sure this is on loosening. This is the Icon brand, obviously. Serpentine belt tool. I got this from my local Harbor Freight. I do not think, oh no, I need this on tightening. I don't think they're sold on Amazon. So if there is any kind of similar tool available for it, I will put it in the description. You can also use a cheaper serpentine belt tool. Take our belt off. Also, before you take your belt off, pay attention to the orientation of it. And I say that because you may not be so lucky to have your diagram on here. You can see mine is fading away. On the work truck that I have, I believe this thing is completely gone. So take note of that. And if you forget, you should be able to find something online. But anyways, I'm gonna take the belt here, get it off. Just inspect the belt. It actually looks pretty good on mine, so I could reuse it if I want to, but I'm not going to. However, I'm still going to keep it and keep it inside of the vehicle for an emergency backup. Typically when these are worn and need to be replaced, you'll notice a bunch of horizontal cracks in the ribs. So this one does not have that. Therefore, it is definitely still a good belt, and we're going to keep it. On the tensioner, you've got 2 bolts. I believe they're 15mm bolts. We're going to take those out, and then the tensioner itself should come right off. Yeah, I'm going to show a close-up of that, but that pulley is definitely bad, and this one as well. This one's on its way out as well. Okay, so the idler pulley is a 15mm as well. Comes right out. You hear that noise? The fact that you hear that noise and it spins so freely, that means that the pulley is bad. These are sealed bearings, and when they are properly greased, this should stop pretty quick after you spin it. It should, for the most part, almost immediately stop. This one does not. So that's one way you can tell that you have a bad pulley. We got to replace this one. Oh yeah, there's a third one down at the very bottom. I didn't even notice that. So the bottom one is the short one. Make sure to pay attention to that. Now it comes right out. Oh yeah, that one is toast. So it does, even though it stops kind of quick, that noise right there, this thing is toast. So you can replace just the pulley typically, but I like to go ahead and just replace the whole assembly. That way I know the tension is good, the pulley's good. And if you want, now's a good opportunity to actually replace your AC belt tensioner and belt. You'd have to take off, so this bottom plate here wasn't here. I put that on. I don't know why it didn't come with one since it is 4-wheel drive. But there's your AC tensioner. It's a pretty easy job as well. That'll probably be something for a future video. I believe that was replaced not too long ago because I had to take it in for AC service. And it's got a green belt on it, so I know it was done more recently. But I have got to make another trip to the parts store to go get those parts. So I'm gonna do that. When I come back, we'll put everything back together and fire it up, make sure everything's good. All right, so we got the Duralast belt tensioner kit, BK4214. We're gonna put our pulleys back on. I did double check at the parts store and verified that these were the belt length was the same, that the tensioner was the same, and as well as the idler pulley. Nice thing about this is it did come with this already on the back side of it, so I don't have to take it off the old one and replace it. Sometimes when you buy just the idler pulley itself, you do have to take this off and put it on the old one. Luckily that's not the case with this one. So no promises that that'll be on every kit. I don't know. This is the first actual kit that I bought. Just want to show you real quick what the pulley is supposed to do. See how quiet that is? How it stops pretty quick. That's the way a properly greased and working pulley should function. Just getting that bolt started so it can stay held in place. Now I'm going to go ahead and line up the bottom one. Okay, that one started. Now the top one, last top one. Remember, your short bolt goes on the very bottom. Okay. And of course, when you tighten these up, make sure you tighten them to specs. I will look it up, see what the manufacturer calls for, and I will put it on the screen. This is where removing this intake tube completely would come in handy. Give me a little more room to work with, but it'd be all right. Just holding it up with my other hand. There we go. See if I can get you a better angle on where that bolt's at. Right there. This guy. Go ahead and throw the idler pulley on real quick. Eventually, I will hopefully be doing a video on converting this from fan clutch to electric fans, because this thing takes up quite a bit of space. Alright, so from what I've gathered, it appears to be 37 foot-pounds. There we go. There's one. Two. Three. Idler pulley. All right, got those torqued to 37 foot-pounds. Now all we should have left to do is put the belt on and reconnect the intake. So I can't even read that one. This one says V8 engines, diesel engine, so we're definitely not going to pay attention to that. This could be a V6, I don't know, but V8 is what we got. That's what we're going to do. So we got to go around the tensioner, around the crankshaft pulley, around the water pump this way, power steering, and up over the alternator. I like to do the alternator last, either the alternator or underneath the idler pulley, because that's the easiest for me to be able to put it on after when I got the tension release. Apologies for the poor angle, but I gotta get on here a certain way, and I can't get the camera to show the angle very good. Just kinda like that for now to hold it in place, and I'm gonna release the tension, see if I can pop it underneath the idler pulley. There we go. Fire it up. Well, obviously before we do that, I gotta reconnect this. And then we'll fire it up and see how everything goes. Make sure the pelt doesn't fly off and have issues. When you go to put this back on, try to tilt it up a little bit, and then it should go right on. If you come at it at a slight angle, it makes it a little bit easier sometimes. Not always, just sometimes. All right, let's fire it up, see what we got. All right, belt's on, fan's going, no weird noises. That's always a plus. And that noise that I heard earlier while I was running, it's gone. So that's how you can replace your belt tensioner, idler pulley, and serpentine belt all at the same time. Very easy job. If I took all of this time and compress it down, I mean, you could probably have this done in about 15 minutes or so. Nothing too complicated. Of course, that all depends on your skill level. It can also depend on how hard those bolts can be trying to get them out. So, hope this video was helpful. Make sure to leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, click that notification bell. Keep an eye out for future videos. Y'all have a good one.